My name is Jamala Taylor. I'm the Senior Reentry Manager for the Inside Garden program. We're based in California. We operate across the state, 9 prisons, including both women's prison. I actually lead the reentry arm. When our participants are being released, we provide basic services for them, a ride home, cell phone, laptop, peer mentorship, that kind of thing. I'm formerly incarcerated myself. I served 31 years in state prison as a lifer, 15 years in solitary confinement. I was released December 30th, 2020. I'm also a college student. I recently graduated from Cal State Fullerton with an undergraduate degree in sociology, and I'm currently a USC master's program for public administration. So it's my dream to one day lead a nonprofit. And that was like the reason that I enrolled in the master's program at the University of Southern California. I thought it would get me closer to my dream. I'm just in the first semester, but some of the work we're doing are things I learned here in this cohort. Like they have something called mind mapping. And everybody in the program is like, what's that? Well, I already knew. It's something we did here many months ago. So yeah, I just found it really relevant to where I want to go. It kind of put me ahead of the curve, understanding policy and policy implementation. The things that we're just talking about in the master's program, most of the people have never heard of. Even something called a VSPA. It's a means of problem solving, identifying a problem and outlining how you're going to solve it. Folks that have just never heard of it, but because of this program, I'd actually heard of it and done it. So it does give me an advantage. I think we're all a product of not only our environment, but the people we're surrounded by. And this program is filled with leaders from all over the country, not always the same walk of life, but similar. And yeah, being able to draw from that and hearing folks talk about their experiences and being able to draw from them and incorporate them into my leadership style, it really kind of helped me see leadership in a different way. We were just asked the question today, what's your style of leadership? And, right off my tongue, I was like, collaborative. And that's not something I would have thought about prior. And that's not to say I didn't practice it. I don't know that I knew the language to use, that universal business language. So I've learned that here. I mean, even what I do locally, I understood the importance of the power of networking. I think the door this has opened is kind of expanding that nationally. And yeah, that's absolutely invaluable. Even just sharing experiences or comparing states and regulations and laws from a policy standpoint is absolutely invaluable. A conversation I was having a few minutes ago was about building a coalition across state lines and advocating for universal legislation around folks being on parole and incarcerated being able to vote. Again, I want to lead a nonprofit. I kind of, found my calling in what I'm doing now. My academic pursuits are in service of that, lend itself to it. And I think maybe one of the most powerful parts of this program is the networking ability. I mean, I literally went from local to national in the course of a year. And I cannot say how important that is, being able to pick up a phone and call to another state who might be a little bit ahead in terms of particular legislation or programming and kind of tap into those folks for their knowledge. So this cohort has been really intentional about building the relationship part of it too. It's not like the program ends today, so the relationships end with it. They've been intentional in making sure we have personal connections that transcend the length of the program. And I don't see that stopping or changing. When you as a judge sit up and give an 18-year-old 99 years to life, you're saying that you have no potential to change. As bad as what you did is today, as bad as you may be today, over the course of your life, there's no potential to change. And I just don't believe that. I don't. Specifically in the area I'm in reentry. I mean, what you can deliver for your clients, if you can't provide it yourself, the next circle is who you know and what they can provide and making those connections. And to be able to do that within 100 miles of where you live is great, but 1,000 miles is even better. I recently went into the prison that I paroled from. And I saw, some of the guys that I've been in, and maybe some of them have life without. So maybe they're not coming home or they're waiting, on laws to change. But one of the first things that was said to me, and I'll never forget this, I can't believe you're here. I mean, that was just so powerful. and I'm there in a suit after I walked the yard in prison blues for decades with these guys. So the power of example is something I really understand is powerful when I provide that for other people, but it's also powerful when it's provided for me.